the biggest gift that we can give to our children, I believe, is our presence and our attention in this very moment, in the now. And I believe that in truth we can, that this is the biggest gift that we can give to anybody. But I do see with our children that they still know this now. They are still living without any conditioning in this now, and free from what has happened yesterday and free from what will happen tomorrow. They're just here, just now, and nothing else matters. That's why you cannot ask a child about the future, or rarely talk with them about the past, because they do store information and memories, but it's not chattering in their mind. They're just there in the now and absorbing what is happening right now. And most of us adults lose this as we grow old, because, as I said in my last video, we have this agreed to this game that we're all playing of make-believe, and we get lost in there, and because of that we get distanced from this now and from this presence and unity with God and with everything around us. And children are still blessed to be there. This is their state of consciousness constantly. And when you don't match them, when you don't take time to stop and take time to just be, then they're constantly just watching you being lost and being distracted and being in the past or being in the future, but never really being there with them here right now, looking at them who they are right now in this very moment. And I believe that this is painful for a child, but also I believe when they do have these moments, or maybe even in best case scenario, not only moments, but this state of beingness together, then they have also the chance to be free in this beingness state. Because whenever there's someone around who is not here, not right now, and always in the past or in the future, then that will limit them. It will limit their ability to just be and to just listen to their intuition, just listen to what springs out of their imagination and out of their, out of this freedom that they have in this state, where they can be led and hear God without needing to word it in any way or label it in any way, but just because their inner heart voice and their intuition is telling them exactly what is supposed to happen in this moment. And I can see it with our children, how when they are there, then they get this excitement about something, and it's just like they cannot even contain it. It's just coming out in every expression of their beingness. When they have an idea or something springs up, and when you are able to be there with them, then you are in total peace and freedom together. And that's a state of togetherness that nothing can nothing can compare with. And I can see it with our children. I can see it when I get lost, and I can see it and when I'm there and I feel it when I've been with them. And I believe that you too can do that. But this is like, there is such a distinct feeling of when you are actually with someone compared to unconsciously being with someone. Because when you're with someone and you give them your full attention and nothing else is in your mind, there's no chattering, there's no thoughts about the past or the future, but there's just this moment and this, like, this very moment of togetherness, and where you can be observant of the other person that you are with, or the other being that you're with, then that is the biggest gift that you have to offer. Because everything can be taken away from you. Like I said, it's a game that we're all agreed to play. It doesn't matter where you live, how you live, if you have something or if you don't have something. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. But this is something that you can share, where you can experience together the presence of God, and together the power of unity and union with the world and with nature and the harmony of the universe. And that is something that is timeless, and that is something that cannot be taken by anything. And everybody wants that deep inside their heart, I believe. We all are searching for this unconditional love and presence, and we desire to just be seen by someone, and we desire to just be with someone who is not distracted, who is not looking into the past or into the future, or who's just looking at you, and who's just listening, or best not even listening, but just being with you. And often I find that words can even distract this, because words lead us into memory and lead us into future, because words can trigger these roles that we're playing, and these images that we have of each other, and these connections that we have been born into, or that we have created for ourselves, and like these constructs of this game. And when there is no words, I have experienced that everything also falls away. All the anger, or all the disagreement, everything that stands in between two people can just simply fall away when there's just silence together and just beingness, and when it doesn't matter anymore what someone says, or what someone is responding, or how they're saying something, or what they're doing, or how they're presenting, or whatever it is. When there's just this state of silent beingness together, then all of that disappears, and you return to the state of love, and you can find the love again with people where you maybe struggle when words are involved, because you go into roles and into ideas and constructs that you have built up together and agreed upon together to be your game that you're playing. And when you just pause that and just eradicate that to some degree, and just be this beingness that you are together, then there is just love to be found, and just togetherness, and sharing this moment and sharing this presence. And then you discover that we are all the same consciousness in separate forms, but we are all the same below anything, below anything of this construct of the game. We are all the same. We are all the same material. And when you feel that together, then you can actually feel that this separation that we experience, that we are still born into this world as individual beings who do have a mind, who do have a body, that to some degree separates us. But then you can realize that it does not need to be used to be separated, but it can actually be used to experience each other. So consciousness and God can experience itself because we are single pieces of the same puzzle. And when you are in this moment where there's just silence and just beingness together, then you realize that our bodies, for example, that we can touch each other, and that this is us touching ourselves, but it's also just this connection. It's like like it becomes sacred to some degree. It becomes sacred to be able to hold someone's hand or to touch someone's face. And I believe that this is the greatest state of togetherness that we can experience, and that we can teach our children. But at the same time, we don't have to teach it, because they are there the whole time. They're just waiting for us to finally be there with them together again. And I understand that that the world can pull on you, and that you have responsibilities in this game that you're playing. But if you're not returning to the state of beingness, then your children will get lost very soon, because they will mimic what you're doing, because you're the one who's leading them into this world and through this game of imagination. And I believe that's the biggest gift that we can give them, to actually have this presence together and let them experience that as a family, as a unit, as beings that are all made from the same body, that we can be together, and that they will always be able to do that whenever, wherever they are, in whatever circumstances or whatever this game of life is throwing at them. This is something that nothing can take away from them, and this is something they can at the same time experience wherever and whenever they wish, and they wish to return to this place of silence and beingness. And I believe that it's beautiful to experience this with ourselves, by ourselves, alone. And I believe that in this state of when we are alone in this beingness and in this silence, that we can very easily feel the connection and be guided by God. But as a mother, for me it's interesting and important, how can I keep that experience that I have when I'm by myself, also when I'm with my children, or also when I'm with my partner, or with my friends, or whoever else, but when I'm not alone. But how can I reach this point of connectivity together, in togetherness, in as a team? And I find that it is all about being present in the moment and silencing the mind about the past and the future, And it helps when words don't have to trigger this. And it's something very sacred and precious, I believe. And I worship every moment that I have in the state of togetherness with other people, because it's rare, is my experience, because everybody is, or many people are, caught up in this game and lost in this game and rarely find this space. Maybe everybody finds it easily by themselves, but we need to find this level where we can find it together. And especially as parents with our children, who are the future of everything, we need to find this level as a base level of our beingness in the family unit, is my belief. Because from there we can agree to play this game and to play these roles and follow these rules. But without this baseline, we actually believe that this game and these rules are everything there is. And our children will grow up believing exactly that. So, let's be grateful for every single moment that we have where we can experience this beingness together. Not only by ourselves, however precious and important and vital that is for our beingness, but as parents and as a family and as a mother, to have this experience together with our children, with our partners, with our friends, with our community. That is a true blessing, every moment of that. And these are the jewels that we have to keep and make as regular and as big and as long and as, give them the importance that they actually have. Make this our priority, that every day we retire from this game that we're playing, that we remind our children, let's not play this game right now, let's just be. And I believe that that's the biggest gift that we can share, I guess.
Parenthood is a gift that can enrich our human experience like nothing else, but in certain circumstances, it will test a person to their limits and often break them.
I found a boy tied up like some sort of animal and just left. And he is a mess. There's no hair on the back of his head from where he's been rubbing on the floor. And he's choking constantly because of how severe his pneumonia is.
In Tanzania, having a child could be what puts a family into more economic and emotional strain than they can handle. Sadly, this often leads to the parents splitting up, leaving single mothers to care for the children by themselves. Many do not have any other family members to help care for the child and bring in the money required. The desperate last resort of abandoning the child is unfortunately common. Many do have family to care for them, but due to the strains of poverty, they are occupied with work and raising other children. Many are therefore severely neglected, often spending their days sitting in isolation, simply performing different body movements and vocal sounds. If no one is available to look after them, they're often tied up for their own protection, so the family members can leave the house and go to work to make money to survive. Their human interaction is therefore minimal, often only having brief moments of human contact while being fed, changing clothes, or being washed by a family member. Due to the lack of brain-stimulating activities and new experiences, very little learning and development is ever seen. These children are alive, but barely living, until some intervention takes place. Feathersdale Children's Village has been that much needed intervention for many special needs children in crisis. Feathersdale has given a permanent home to many children. Their daily routine here allows them to start thriving for the first time rather than merely surviving. This newfound hope is a miracle only made possible by the kind-hearted humans who are sharing through partnering with us and the children. Life for these children is different at Feathersdale. Children wake up at 6:30 and are given a wash and dressed by our caregivers, and then they gather together for a morning prayer. The children are given breakfast at 8:30 in a communal area where they are also socializing with other special needs children, caregivers, and family members if they're present. From 10 o'clock till noon, the children are in therapy, where they receive individual physical and cognitive exercises based on their individual needs, and their progress is then assessed. The children then get some rest at 2 p.m. Some children will nap, some will dance, some prefer playing with each other, and others perform different activities on electronic devices. At 6:30 p.m. it is dinner time. Some of the children are often involved in the food making process. When the food is ready, they will group together and get a nutrient-dense meal, ensuring that their bodies and brains are fueled to keep learning and growing. In the evening, the special needs children who are capable attend the evening study with our on-site teachers who cater to the children's cognitive capabilities. At 7:30 p.m., the caregivers get the children ready for bed and assist them in every way they need so they can fall asleep peacefully in their beds. Feathersdale is guarded by brave Maasai warriors at all times due to the threats special needs and albino children face by different tribal beliefs and witch doctors in the area. The children's days are filled with smiles and intimacy by our caretakers, who often are mothers to special needs children themselves. They have enormous hearts and the patience required for this important work. There is a stark contrast between life before and after the children come to Feathersdale. Our dream is to be able to eliminate the suffering of all special needs children. We are currently working hard to open a new village for special needs children with the help of our donors to bring in many children. If you're interested in learning more about our partnership program and how you can be part of this important mission, please visit www.sharetanzania.com/invisible children and see how you can help out today.